Have you ever set a goal only to fall off a few days or even weeks after setting it? It's okay because you're not alone. Today's video will be broken up into 5 different parts. We'll be discussing why discipline matters, common challenges and how to overcome them, practical ways to stay disciplined, how to bounce back when you slip up, and then the last part of the video will be final motivation. Now let's get on with the video. Okay, so first we're going to be discussing why discipline matters. Discipline matters because you can't always rely solely on motivation in order to get your goals done. Motivation is temporary, okay? You're probably going to watch this video, and at the end of it, you're probably going to feel super motivated and happy, and you're going to be like, I'm going to get it done. I know I'm going to get my stuff done, right? And then the next day, you might not feel that same way, or you may feel really pumped after watching this video, and then something happens. Maybe something happens at work, or maybe you're stressed, or something unexpected happens, right? That wasn't a part of your plan, and it throws everything off. That's why I say you can't rely solely on motivation in order to get what you need to do done. And look, I'm making this video because, the end of the year is approaching pretty fast. I can't believe that next week it's already going to be Christmas Eve, right? And then after that it's New Year's, and then we're welcoming a new year. It's going to be 2025. So that's why I'm telling you guys that discipline matters, and discipline is doing what needs to be done no matter how you feel. It's doing the things that you need to do even when you don't feel like it. Discipline is maybe telling yourself that every morning you're going to have maybe a protein shake, or maybe you're going to have eggs with some fruit and stuff like that, right? Let's say something happens and it throws everything off, or you don't feel like eating that the next day or something, right? Discipline is knowing that you're going to do it anyways because it's a part of the plan that you made. Not only that, let's say this, for example, right? This morning, I have a bad habit of sometimes in the morning waking up and then being lazy and not wanting to even make breakfast. But it's very important to start your day with something to eat, right? Because you have to think, right? I had to get to the root of maybe some of my eating habits, right? And I noticed like around lunchtime, I would eat a lot. And it's also not good because it's like when you're hungry and you want something fast, you just want whatever, right? You want whatever that's fast. And I had to tell myself, like, I need to start eating in the morning, because then lunchtime comes, and if I didn't prepare myself something to eat, it's so easy to order fast food or stop somewhere real quick on the way to work. But, I realized I had to stop doing that because it's not good. If my goal is to eat healthier or eat better, it all starts off with what you eat in the beginning of the day. The reason I do that is because if I skip out on breakfast, then when it comes lunchtime, I'm going to be super hungry. So that's why it was very important for me to start off my mornings with a good filling breakfast, so that when lunchtime came around, I didn't have those big cravings, right? Discipline is important because it helps you trust yourself and it helps you build confidence. And discipline is the foundation for success. And when you build discipline, like I said, you can trust yourself because you have evidence of you doing what it is that you said you're going to do. So, of course, it may seem a bit hard to eat healthy if you have a lot of evidence of you not doing that, right? But once you just start off with just going day by day and focusing on that, just going one day eating healthy, then the next day, eventually you will start to trust yourself because you have evidence of all these days that instead of going out to eat, you decided to go the healthy route and eat at home. Eventually, as time goes on, you will start to believe in yourself and trust in yourself and trust in the words that you say when you say, okay, I'm going to eat at home, because you have more evidence of you doing that than eating out. Not only that, but building discipline also helps you reduce stress, because usually if you're just relying on motivation, like I said, that's temporary, right? So if you're not disciplined, you might end up falling back into bad habits, which isn't good because let's say the bad habit is recklessly spending your money, or maybe it's indulging in food or other stuff, right? Or maybe doom scrolling or whatnot. Later on, you're going to end up regretting it. And then you're going to be stressed and you're going to be upset because you're going to think to yourself, I'm moving farther away from my goals every day. I'm not doing what I said I was going to do. So let's get into the second part of this video, right? Which is common challenges and how to overcome them. The first common challenge is losing motivation, right? It happens all the time. Setting a goal, feeling pumped up, listening to certain music or listening to podcasts or YouTube videos and feeling pumped up and being like, yes, I'm going to do this thing. And then, like I said, something unexpected or out of nowhere happens and it kind of throws everything off. It's okay. Stuff like that happens. A solution to this is to just try to focus on certain habits rather than just motivation. Let's go with the food. I'm just going to go with that, right? Because I feel like everyone's like goal usually is to be healthier or eat better or maybe exercise. So let's say one of your goals is to lose weight. That means you need to worry about eating better. At least for me, a system that I have is in the beginning of the week, I meal plan, right? Sometimes I'm lazy and I don't want to do it, but as soon as I get up, I try to get it out the way because I know that if I put it off, I end up not getting it done. But another thing that I also try to do is having like TV dinners. Like I'll get the healthy choices. I know some people might be like, that's not great or whatever, but they're low calorie, and it's just good to have those certain meals to where, let's say you're feeling a bit lazy or you don't want to cook, you have that on hand. Or let's say maybe you don't have enough time, maybe you underestimated the time you may have had to be able to meal prep. That's why it's good to make sure you have some of those fast choices to get to in your home so that you won't end up just being like, you know what, I'm gonna go out and pick up something on the way or order something, right? Like today, I had to record a YouTube video, pick up a bit and do other things, so I didn't have enough time to meal prep, at least not today. But luckily, I prepared, and when I went out grocery shopping yesterday and I bought the food that I was going to make for the week, I also bought me a couple of, healthy choice TV dinners just in case for some reason I don't have enough time to make something, or let's say, I get hungry and I want something to eat. I like them because they're usually at least under like 400 calories. Some are like 200, some are like 380. Another thing is to just break down your goals into smaller, actionable steps. Let's say, right, your goal is to go to the gym, but sometimes like you lose motivation or you don't want to do that. One thing that I did was honestly just doing this, telling myself like, okay, just go to the gym, because it's really not that far from my house. It's literally like less than 10 minutes away. So I tell myself, okay, just give yourself maybe 30 minutes, right? 10 minutes to go there. And then I tell myself, just go on the treadmill for 10 minutes or do a workout for 10 minutes. Everyone has to start off somewhere. Eventually, once you build the habit of going there, you can figure out what exercises and all that you want to do, but you want to build momentum and get into the habit of just going there. So I tell myself, okay, get up, just put my clothes on, right? That's all I got to do. Get up, put my clothes on. Focus on one task at a time. So all I got to do right now is get up, put my clothes on. Once you have your clothes on, then it's like, okay, all I got to do is get in my car and go, right? Once you already do the first thing, putting on your clothes, it's a little bit easier because you got one thing down. Get in your car, go. Now you're outside the gym. Now the next thing you need to do is just go in there and 10 minutes on the treadmill. If you want to stay in there longer, then that's good. If you don't want to, that's fine too. But at least you got it done and you broke it down into smaller steps instead of thinking all about, oh my God, I need to go to the gym. Just start off thinking, I just need to put my clothes on. Once you do that, okay, I just need to get in my car. go to the gym. Now I just need to do 10 minutes. By the time you're there, you're going to end up, who knows, even being there for like 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, right? And lastly, just try to remind yourself of your why. Those moments where you may not want to stick to your goals and you want to just do something else, you need to remind yourself, well, what was the reason that you set this goal in the first place? Right? What was the reason you set this goal in the first place? Most likely it's because you want to become the best version of yourself. You want to become the best and better version of yourself. So remind yourself of that. Remind yourself that maybe you're going to be comfortable now, but you're going to end up regretting it later on, and you're going to be sad and upset that you didn't do the thing anyways. So just do it. Another common challenge might be procrastination. You want to put off the task, right? You don't want to do it. I know I kind of have a hard time with like waking up in the morning. I feel like that's something I procrastinate with, just wanting to get up later on. But as I said, just try and start with small, reasonable goals. So for me, I just started off with like, okay, my first goal is to try to make sure that I go to sleep at a reasonable time. I told myself that, okay, you know what? I'm going to make sure that I get up at 9:30. I ended up waking up at 10, but hey, everyone starts somewhere, and the fact that I'm even trying and doing that already matters. Me just trying to be intentional with my time already matters. But some things that I like to incorporate to try and overcome procrastination is just using, for one, the 2-minute rule. So that's pretty much just starting any task for 2 minutes. Kind of like what I had said earlier about just focusing on this one task at hand and just starting that. Pretty much same thing, just starting it just for 2 minutes. Or if you know you want to be up and out the bed by 10, set an alarm for 9. Try to get up by 9:10, 9:15. Then put an alarm on your phone for 25 minutes. I know it's not necessarily good to just wake up and be on your phone, but if that's something you do, then do that. Put an alarm on your phone for 25 minutes and give yourself that time to just scroll or do whatever it is that you want to do in the morning before you procrastinate to brush your teeth, get up, make breakfast, right? After that alarm goes off, then it's time to start. And honestly, something else that you could do is try to just identify and address, why are you procrastinating, right? Is it fear, overwhelmed? Is it distractions? And if it is distractions, maybe it's time for you to remove those distractions. Keep your phone out of reach. Turn off notifications so you don't get tempted to touch your phone. Or even if you need to, schedule distraction time. Schedule time where you can do whatever it is that you want. If that's scrolling on your phone, if that's watching TV, listening to music, schedule in that time for yourself. And then once that time is over, get back to the things that you need to do. Another challenge that someone may have is overcommitting or feeling overwhelmed. So, sometimes when you have a goal, you set up so many, or you have so many. Like for me, I had like 3 goals that I wanted to do in the week. And not saying I can't do that, but sometimes you need to just break it down and just focus literally on one goal. And that's totally fine, because for some people, trying to focus on 3 is too much. Sometimes you need to focus on one goal at a time, just for the whole week. Focus on this one goal, and then the next week you can focus on the other one, and then the next week the other one. If the first week you want to focus on waking up on time the whole week, focus on that. And once you build that momentum, the next week you can focus on maybe eating healthier, meal prepping, right? Meal planning. That's the next thing you can focus on the next week. The third week, maybe you can focus on going to the gym for a certain amount of time. But it's important to make sure that you prioritize your tasks based off of what is more important and urgent, right? So whatever is more important and urgent, that is the thing that you want to focus on first. That's the thing that you want to try and get out the way and start off. I find that that's usually what works the best for me. Okay, so now we're in the third part of the video, which is practical ways to stay disciplined. Okay, so one practical way to stay disciplined is to plan ahead. You see, I have my whiteboard right here, right? It definitely helps me, for the most part, stay disciplined. I feel like if you don't have a plan, you plan to fail, right? So, of course, sometimes things happen. Sometimes you underestimate the time that you have. Like, I wanted to wake up today at 9:30, or I wanted to be up out the bed by 9:30. I ended up getting out the bed at I think 10 or around that time. But yeah, it's important to plan your day, because if not, you're just going to wake up and kind of just do whatever. You might even end up just not doing anything, thinking that, oh, you have time to just do whatever, when really you don't. This is time that you could be using for a lot of other things, right? Like if I just did whatever, I wouldn't have went grocery shopping yesterday. I wouldn't have recorded this YouTube video. I wouldn't have been prepping for Christmas, getting gifts, or getting the stuff to make cake and other stuff. If you don't have a whiteboard to use, you can use a journal. You can use apps on your phone, have planners on your phone that you can use. Another way you can stay disciplined is to try and create a good morning and night routine. Once you have a good morning and night routine down, it really does affect the rest of your day. The way you in your night matters, because it's gonna affect how you wake up in the morning. So if you have a good night routine of maybe picking out your outfit the night before, maybe setting the tone, maybe not eating such a heavy meal before you go to bed, or snacking in the middle of the night, going to sleep at a good set time, all of that is gonna matter. So then the next day when you wake up, your stuff is already ready, right? If you want to go to the gym, you don't have to sit there and spend all that extra time trying to look for an outfit. Your outfit is already picked out. If you already know the night before what breakfast it is that you want to make, that's already out the way. You don't have to wonder or think about all that stuff, because you already prepared for it the night before. Another thing is to set SMART goals. I talked about it already in one of my videos, but it's pretty much just setting specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, timely goals. Don't try and set goals that are unachievable. Trying to plan to do all this stuff in the morning when you don't even wake up on time, right? Don't do that, because when you end up not doing the thing, you're going to end up feeling bad and upset that you didn't get it done. Another thing you can just try to do is build better habits. I've seen something about habit stacking, something like that. So I think one way you could do that is maybe say, for me, right? I like watching TV before I go to bed, or maybe after I get out the shower. I like watching TV. One habit that I did is, okay, after I get out the shower, before I watch TV, I have my journal sitting out on I have a little TV stand in front of my bed. I keep this journal right in front of it, and I make sure to just write down a page in my journal about what happened that day and how I felt, right? So before, I do my habit of watching TV, I implemented a new habit of writing in my journal. And it feels good, because it feels in a way like I'm rewarding myself for doing that thing, when it's you were already going to do the thing, but at least before you do it, you do the right thing, the goal that you wanted, right? Another practical way to stay disciplined is to, like I said, limit distractions, keep your phone out of reach, turn it off, put it in do not disturb mode, maybe letting people know, hey, around this time I won't be available, so people know maybe not to contact you or to not mess with you if you live with other people. And lastly, just take accountability. Things are going to happen. You're going to have your slip ups and your moments, and that's all right. That's fine. But maybe it might help if you have maybe a partner or a friend or a loved one, a family member, that you can tell them what it is that your goals are, and let them know if you slip up. And it might suck, but sometimes you need someone to, tell you the truth about your habits. Maybe it's, well, I want to eat better, right? And then when you're not eating right, let someone know, like, hey, I've been doing this bad thing or this bad habit of maybe going out to eat a lot or whatnot. Let me tell you this, when you try and not face the thing that you're doing, the bad habit that you're doing, you try to just brush it off or just act like it's whatever, you're not dealing with the problem, and you're just putting it off for a really long time. But at some point, you're gonna have to look yourself in the mirror. You're gonna have to face that problem and face yourself with the fact that you've been doing this thing. So that's why it's important to just take accountability, and like I said, just be honest with yourself and be honest with someone else, so that it's not all on you and you don't have to deal with all of it alone. You can have someone there to help you, even if you need to maybe confide in a therapist if you have one. Do that, but talk to someone or journal about what it is that you're doing, so then you can end up looking back and saying, like, dang, like, you have like a track record of all those bad habits that you're doing. You could actually see in real time all these weeks and days that you've been spending doing this bad thing. Okay, and so now for part 4, which is how to bounce back when you slip up. Honestly, you just need to accept that setbacks happen, and that's okay, that's fine. It happens, it's a part of the process. But when that happens, you need to revisit your why. Remember why you started that goal in the first place. Remind yourself that, and just take it day by day. Remember to start again without waiting for the perfect time. I feel like a lot of people, maybe they had a goal of, maybe I just go with the eating stuff, but maybe you had a goal of eating healthy, right? And then let's say you messed up and you ate over maybe the certain calorie intake you were supposed to have, or you ate fast food and you feel really bad, right? So now you're just like, oh my God, I messed up. So the rest of the day you keep on eating bad. Don't do that. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Don't sit there and be like, oh dang, I didn't eat good today, so you know what, I'm gonna wait until tomorrow to try to start over again, or I'm gonna wait until the next week to start over again. No. Understand, okay, I messed up, I didn't eat well, that's all right, but what can you do moving forward? You can focus on, okay, maybe lunch you didn't eat great. Okay, what can you do for dinner time to make sure that you're still sticking in within your goals? Those little moments matter. They matter. Just because you messed up doesn't mean you need to mess up the whole day. Just because you messed up in the morning doesn't mean you need to mess up the whole day. You don't need to sit there and be like, dang, I messed up 2 days in a row. That doesn't mean you need to sit there and just mess up the rest of the 3 days. Don't do that. Stuff happens, things happen, you get stressed. Figure out where your triggers are. But don't mess up the rest of the week or the day because of a setback. Like I said, stop waiting for the perfect time. Remember that discipline, like I said, is built through consistency. And yes, you're going to have that setback, but you're going to feel a lot better knowing that, okay, yes, I had the setback, but for dinner, I ate better. The next day, I ate better. For lunch, I ate better, right? And then you're proving to yourself and trusting yourself that you can do it because you showed yourself that you did, instead of waiting for the perfect time and being like, oh, I'm going to just start over next week, and then eating bad. What type of proof do you want to have for yourself? Do you want to have proof that you stuck to what you said you were going to do even if you had a setback? Or do you want proof that when you had a setback, you just let yourself fall apart and you didn't do anything because you wanted to wait until the next week, start over, and then the next week came and then you messed up, so then you just decided to keep on messing up? You get what I'm saying? Okay, and then now for part 5 of the video, which is just final motivation. Remember that discipline isn't about being perfect. It's about showing up every day and trying your best. And even when you mess up, knowing that you're going to still try again. Knowing that you did the best you can, and that is literally all that matters. Remember that it's going to be a little bit uncomfortable straying away from certain old habits. It's going to be very, very hard. But sometimes you need to learn how to sit with that discomfort for a little bit, but know that that discomfort is only temporary, and you need to go through that so you can hit the goal that you really want. Know that, like I said, it's going to be hard. You're going to have your days where you mess up, and that's all right. But eventually one day you're going to get it down. You're going to get it. But as long as every day you keep trying to get closer to your goal and figure out what can I do today differently to make things better for myself, that is all that truly matters. All right, so now we reached the end of this video. If this video helped you, please like and subscribe, and please comment down below. What is your biggest goal for 2025, and what do you plan on doing to stay disciplined? All right, until then, I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.